Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. For the people watching this on the playback, it's your host, son of a Jones, one half of Enveonline. And as people tune into my platform know, we do a lot of coverage within underground hip hop, sports, and fashion. So today I have the honor of talking with the underground legend that's been within hip hop longer than 20 years. When I check up his stats, it says he has 28 albums out. Over the last 6 months to a year, he's been flooding these internet streets and hip hop streets with a lot of dope visuals, a lot of dope singles, collabs, and everything. So, without further ado, I have Ruste Juxx. Juxx, how's everything going?
Peace, man. Everything is great. Can't complain, man.
Definitely. So, the point of me of reaching out to artists like yourself and others is because I feel as a consumer of hip hop, there's like an underground renaissance going on right now. And I believe artists like yourself and many other artists underground is leading that charge. I believe it's a whole underground renaissance coming back right now within hip hop. So
Yeah.
before I start this interview, well, first and foremost, how's your day going before I get into the questions, man? How are you doing as a
Every,
person?
everything going smooth today, man. Word.
Gotcha. So to get back, so I start off by saying there's an underground renaissance and artists like yourself and others are leading the charge. I wanted
Yeah.
to start this interview off with commending you with your work ethic. Every time I turn on, there's a collab
Yeah.
being released, a new music video through the Duck Down Records YouTube or your YouTube or somebody else's YouTube. You've been
Yeah.
putting in a lot of work. So I just want to first off start off by saying salute to the grind you on right now because
Looking, man. I appreciate it.
definitely. So
Word.
my first question in saying that and then laying the context out, do you feel you're one of the hardest workers within the underground hip hop right now?
Absolutely. That's why I titled my album James Brown of the Underground, man. I'm
Ah,
running with that title right there.
yeah, for the youngins that don't know, maybe if you're under the age of 30, James Brown was known as the hardest worker in the music industry. And that's
Yeah.
what it's looked like for underground hip hop right now.
Yep.
So to my prior statement, the context that I laid, the foundation for this interview, I saying there's a renaissance coming back. What do you feel about that? Do you see something on your end within the underground of hip hop? Because like it's kind of taking a turn where that's coming back up to the top.
I just know I love what I do. So, I just keep pumping it out, pushing these joints out and man, and I'm just loving what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? I see a lot of my peers doing the same thing, man. So, salute to everybody on their grind, man, and putting in that work, man. I love it, man.
To follow up on that, you said you love what your peers are doing. Who is
Yeah,
Ruste Juxx listening to as far as your peers that you're respecting, that you would like to put the underground hip hop on?
definitely. Terminology, Sky Zoo, my brother Skanks the Rap Martyr, uh, Illa G. It's a lot of artists, man. A lot of dope artists, man.
And another thing that I respect of what's going on in the underground, and I hope nobody takes offense to what I'm about to say, I feel like ageism is thrown out the window. Some of my favorite artists are above the age of 35, and that's kind of new for hip hop because back in the days when I was coming up in high school, they used to say, "Oh, you don't want to be over 35 rapping." Now some of the
Yeah,
best rappers are over 35. Period.
way over, way over.
What's your thoughts on that? That y'all guys, and I don't mean to put your age out, so please forgive me. But
I'm
what
47. I ain't worrying about none of that.
gotcha. I'm
I'm
30, I'm
happy to be
38.
here at 47, man.
Much respect to you, man. What is your thoughts
Word.
on you guys running the show? I'm gonna be honest, as far as lyricism, the upperclassmen got it right now.
I mean, I came from the era with the illest, the lyrical MCs, man, like the joints out, from KRS-One to Kane to G Rap to Rakim, you know what I mean? Everybody was, I learned a lot from them growing up, you know what I'm saying? So that's who I inspired to be as a kid when I first started rapping, you know what I'm saying? So I just continue it on. And I never stop, man. That's my style. That's how I want to be remembered as, you know what I mean? So
Now
I
you
just
said
stick to it.
Now you said Rakim and KRS-One
Yeah,
and Kane.
definitely.
So before I get into some questions, you just threw me something. Threw me a little alley right there. So the back and forth in the barbershop talk is who would have won if Big Daddy Kane versus Rakim ever battle? Because there was that always that barbershop conversation with the underground hip hop. In your opinion, who would you pick, man?
I think I think I would have to go with Kane.
Ah, okay.
I think I would have to go with Kane as far as both of them is lyrical gods. You know what I mean? I love Rakim. You know what I mean? All his albums. You know what I mean? I love Rakim, man. I'm not trying to sell nobody short. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But it's just like Kane. Like right now, his stage performance is impeccable. You know what I mean? Like he just killing it at the shows, and I'm still looking at him like, yo, like damn. You know what I mean? He's getting busy, man. So as far as that, you know what I mean? If they was on stage battling, I think I feel Kane would win, in my opinion.
That's dope. That's dope. I want to piggyback off of what you said as far as Kane's stage show. There's a viral clip going on out there, just off of my memory, where
Hmm.
he's in his fur jacket and he has his entourage on the stage and he has the
Yeah,
mic and he's fumbling the mic on purpose. I don't know this, but it's Kane's
yeah,
genius. He drops it and picks it up, drop ish, and still make it look good. And that was
yeah.
one of the craziest things that I saw with stage performance. What are some of the tidbits that you picked up from legends like Kane when you're on the road? Because I see videos of you over in Europe. Like
Yeah,
for the people who don't know, as an underground artist, you're everywhere. I see you doing shows in
yeah.
Cali. You posted videos. You posted videos in Eastern Europe. So what's some of the tidbits that you picked up from the legends when you on the road?
Oh man, like I seen a lot. I seen a lot, man. Like I just love watching the cadence and the crowd control, you know what I mean? And how they people will go into I love like somebody will start off their record with their beat, and then once the hook come in, they're switching it to a classic hip hop song, and you know what I mean, and flip it, and they just start killing it to the other beat. Like I've seen the Fugees do that. I've seen I've seen Onyx do that, man. You know what I mean? And I never used what somebody did, but I love seeing it. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of a lot of dope artists too, man. So I love seeing that. You know what I mean? And just a whole bunch of things, man. I can't think of a lot of different shit right now. Like I remember KRS was talking about how he'll start off and he'll be in his coat, and then after a few songs he'd be in his jacket, and then by the end of the show he's just in a t-shirt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like just getting loose. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. I love watching performances, not just hip hop either, like R&B to all types of genres.
Now, do you come from the school of not singing over your vocals at shows?
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Only way I would do that is if I didn't have the instrumental, and like they wanted me to do that song. You know what I mean? Like, and I
Hmm.
and I would say it before I perform it. Like, yo, I don't have the instrumental. You know what I mean? But I would never do that. Like
And
just like having my whole set full of songs and I'm rhyming over them. I can't do that.
I'm saying this
I
as
can't
a
do it.
I'm saying this as a fan of hip hop. I feel cheated as a fan when I see an
Yeah,
artist lip singing. So it's cool to
yeah.
see artists like yourself still keeping that legacy alive of, not rapping over the vocals so you could get very creative, man. That's dope.
Yeah, it's way better live, man. When they hearing what you saying, and like you could say something in the middle of it, or you could switch the words around, to whatever city you in. Like if you in the original song you say Brooklyn, but then when you out in Cali, you just put Cali in there, and they'll be like, oh, like what I mean. People love that, man.
Mm.
The live version is way better.
So one song that you put out that really personified what you're doing as far as you grinding recently, I want to say a few months ago, was the song Work. The song Work
Yeah,
that you put out, I believe should be a anthem for entrepreneurs. Like you just breaking down. How
yeah.
did that track come together, man?
Yo, I'm shout out to Pre One, man. He's a producer out of Cali, man. He produced that. And we're working on this EP, and I wanted every song to be a single. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like every song is a different, whole, totally different concept. We put out a single a few months ago called "See You Win," and on that joint, I'm just talking about how I just want to see everybody win, and what I mean. I'm genuinely proud of my people doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like I want everybody to win. And so then when I started working on this, I guess that's just what the beat just spoke to me and said, you know what I mean? So I started talking about that. And it came out crazy. Like we got another joint and I'm talking about people that run their mouth and be gossiping and talking too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like the old school joints. You got a big mouth or something like
Mm.
that, but a newer version. So, I'm just trying to be on my top tier MC shit, right? You know what I
And
mean?
you on it right now, man.
Word.
That leads me to an interesting question because what I'm also noticing is artists is getting back to doing whole projects with one producer. You say you're doing a
Oh
whole
yeah.
joint with the dude that produced that?
Yeah, man. I'm out of my 28 projects, probably only 3 or 4 have different producers. Like I love the one MC, one producer concept. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Gangstar. And I think when you work with that one producer, man, and he's his sound is not just the same through the whole album. You know what I mean? He got different type of um samples, loops, and or whatever he does. If he just playing it, you know what I mean? I think it works better with one producer, one MC, man. Y'all just, both of y'all just go in. And it's easier too, like with the paperwork and all that. You don't got to get a whole bunch everybody information and piecing everybody off. It's just y'all two making that money and
You
going to roll with it.
you just dropped the gem. I wasn't even gonna go there because I had some other questions, but off the top
Yeah,
of my head, maybe we can provide a small education sample of what you just said. So you just said with the paperwork involved, which I'm going since I'm not an artist, it's called split sheets, if I'm correct.
right, right.
So for any underground artists who might see this on a playback, what advice can you give to them as far as making sure they have their business correct with the split sheets, as far as the percentages artists get versus the percentages that producers get, and why it's better to have one producer versus three on a split sheet?
Yeah, I would say make sure you got all of that and handle before you even start the project. You know
Okay.
what I mean? You got your ASCAP. The producer might be on BMI or ASCAP, and you got everybody's information. And before you get into the contracts and all of that, and just make sure the split is even every time, man. So there's no discrepancies. Nobody's worrying about you getting more than me, and you know what I mean. And it works out for the whole team. You know what I mean? Usually I do it if I'm on an independent label, it might be a 70-30 split. Like the label get 30 and we get 70 and we split the 70.
Okay, that makes
Or,
sense.
or if we put it out 50-50 and put it out ourselves, you know what I mean? Then we split it like that, however it works, the best for you, man. And but just make sure you got that down packed or you got that in the bag already. You know what I'm saying?
So another question. See, I'm going left with it, but like there's an emergence of selling physical music. Like I'm buying physical cassette
Yeah,
tapes, vinyls, and all that. Do you think that some of the artists got thrown off the game through that streaming era? Because that streaming era threw everybody for a loop over the last 10 years. People saying,
right.
they got 100,000 streams and they don't understand how that works out. Is that still the same with the streaming era versus selling physical copies of the music?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, a lot of my fan base love the physicals. You know what I mean? So I try to do as much, with a lot of my albums that I'm working on. I try to have physicals for everyone, and I don't have them for every album, but for the most part, I do. And because the fans, they always asking that. They always like, "Yo, when is CD coming out?" And it's better for the artist too because I sell mines directly. You know what I mean? From you buy it from me, whatever you cash at, PayPal me the money, and I mail it out to you. Get your whole mailing address, your name, and everything. I ship it to you. I autograph it. You know what I'm saying? And people love that, man. They love to see the pictures and whatever you wrote on the inside. You know what I mean? Your thank yous. You know what I'm saying? People love the physicals, man. So that never died out. And I do it for the fans, man. And it's dope. I like the streaming too. Even though it's not the same money wise. You know what I'm saying? Like I did last year. I did what was it? 1.4
Okay.
on 1.4 million on the streams.
Okay.
And I think that came out to like 42,000 in cash.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
That's
Yeah.
crazy for
And
an independent.
it's not like if you would have sold, if you would have got all of that from 100 point, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? If you went
that makes
platinum, you know
yeah.
what I mean? But you still get something, you know what I mean? You just make sure, if you on Spotify, you got your you got your account and you do the payout shit, you know what I'm saying? So you get that money and you'll be straight because it's not just you're not just making money from the Spotify. Then you got your SoundCloud,
Hmm.
you got Sound Exchange, you got DistroKid. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different platforms you could put your music on and get money. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I want to go
Yep.
back because before I took a left and started talking business, I want to go back. So we was talking about the record work, and I believe I wrote down something that you said in there. It was a bar that you said in the record work where you alluded to that you have three heirs to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an important bar because I'm a father as well. I got three kids as well. And
Yeah,
everything that we do as black men, as fathers, that we're laying the foundation for the heirs to our throne. So from
absolutely.
one father to another father, what is your best moment as a dad, man?
My best moments, yo, just seeing them flourish and doing what they love to do. You know what I'm saying? And like I could be like throw this rap shit out the window, man. My greatest accomplishment is being a father. You know what I mean? Like if my kids made it, you know what I mean? They like my oldest, he's 27 now this year in September. He's married, you know what I mean? He lives with his wife and everything. He's a one woman man, just like his father. You know what I mean? I'm proud
Okay.
of him, man. He beat cancer. You know what I'm saying? We was
Salute to
going
him.
through that for like it was serious for a minute with the leukemia out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And he stuck to his guns. He wanted to do it the natural way. And I got so much respect for him. You know what I'm saying? And my son Boogie, he's graduating from high school this year. He's doing great in school. My daughter, she's getting ready to graduate from junior high this year. You know what I mean? Like that's my accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? Like I never finished school. My mother never finished school. I don't think my father either. Like, you know what I mean? So it goes, like I broke generational curses, you know what I'm saying, with them. And they doing way better, man. They lifestyle, they didn't have to grow up like I grew up on the block and going through, being hungry and you know what I mean, going through a lot of street shit, you know what I'm saying? So this my greatest accomplishments right here. I got a new song, matter of fact. I just it's called King of Hearts, and I'm getting ready to I'm shooting a video now, and every verse is about them. First one is about Vic, second one is about Boogie, and the third one is about my daughter Gianna.
That's dope,
So
man.
yeah,
I heard an old saying growing up in the church was you judge the fruit by the roots of the tree. And by what you're
right.
describing to me, you laid a great foundation for your kids. So as I said before I started the question, from one father to another, man, major salute on that.
Salute, man. Word.
So going through your catalog, you recently did a joint album with one half of Helter Skelter, Rockness Monster
Yeah.
called Crownsville, and I believe that personified hip hop, and I also believe it personified where you guys come from in Brooklyn. So I got a two-part
Yeah.
question for the title Crownsville. How,
Yeah.
what was the moment that you guys said, all right, let's link up and do this album together and call it Crownsville?
All right. So the original I was supposed to do it originally with Sean Price. And me and Rock was on tour. We was in the airport going somewhere. I forgot where we was going, but I brought it up and I was like, yo, man, I wish me and Sean could have did that album together, man. Like we were supposed to do an album called Crownsville. And he was like, yo, I'm here. And I was like,
Mm.
oh damn, why I ain't even think of that, man. I was like, all right, so that's when we first spoke about it. And then down the line, we started putting it together. You know what I'm saying? And we worked on it for like probably 2.5 years, just like off and on. You know what I mean? Not just straight. Like we were stopped and then we came back and he came to my crib. I was in the Bronx at the time, and we recorded like the first half. I mean, wrote the first half, and then the second time he came out again for a few days, and we wrote the end of it, and then we went in the studio and recorded it. Yeah, so that's how the whole thing came about.
So now I'm gonna touch on the actual song because you have the title Crownsville, then you have the song Crownsville, which I guess that's a
Yeah,
single. So for
yeah,
me, as a consumer of hip hop, as a fan of you guys, like that record personifies hip hop. Great storytelling, great production, authenticity, and elite MCing.
yeah.
When you guys are writing that record, and there's a couple joints on there, but when you guys were writing that record, did you guys know you was sitting on a nuclear bomb when y'all was writing that?
Yo, yeah, actually, we were sitting there like, yo, because Rock is one of the illest MCs on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make sure, I'm always on my A game, but I
Hmm.
had to make sure my verses is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, me and him was just like we was sitting there like he would let me hear his verse, I let him hear mine. We was just like, yo, this shit gonna be crazy. Like, you know what I mean? We was already hype about it, man. So this definitely with this album, I don't have I'm like totally like so proud of this album, man. I'm just like it's flawless to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's no weak joints on there. You know what I mean? So I'm real confident when I speak about this one.
Yeah, if this was a Source Magazine days, and I'm not just saying that because you interviewing, but if this was a Source
Yeah,
Magazine days, that might be a five mic album. That was something
yeah,
big back
man.
in the Source, rating the albums and so forth. Still sticking on that album, like in media, when I interview people, sometimes they say certain projects feel like therapy to them. Certain songs they make feel like therapy to them. So when you and Rock made Sean Lives On, which was a record
Hmm.
pretty much commemorating the life of y'all fallen comrade Sean Price. Did that feel
Yeah,
like therapy for you guys? Putting out a
yeah,
song where you were flipping his songs and making bars out of them and just keeping his memory alive.
yeah, man. Because that's like my fourth or fifth Sean Price song. You know what I mean? Like I did a few of them already. Like I did Universal Sean was the first one when I put out my Meteorite album, and then I had another song called Sean VSOP on my James Brown of the Underground album, and that was me and Rock.
Hmm.
And Rock is on Universal Sean too. He's speaking on the hook. He just talked through the hook and everything. And then I did another song called "I'm Not Like These Other Rappers" from my album "I'm Not Like These Other Rappers" featuring Bernadette Price. You know what I mean? And that was crazy. And then we did this one, and so I had to do it different this time. So I knew it was ill coming up with. And if you're a real Sean Price fan, all the titles and how we flipped it. It makes it even iller because
It's
you're like,
crazy.
yo, monkey bars in the jungle gym, onion head niggas, I don't fuck with them. Like it was crazy with the back to back. Word.
So when I was looking up
I
doing
know
my
Sean would love that. Word.
so when I was looking up doing my research for the interview, it said that I don't want to say discover, but it seemed like that was the person that kind of pushed you into the rap game was Sean Price. If I'm fair in saying that.
Right, right. It was I had a record deal before that with Select Records. I was with DR Period, man. Shout out to DR Period. Um, I had a lot of music I was putting out independently, but they was my first. When I featured on Helter Skelter's Magnum Force album in '98. That was my first official project that I was featured on. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I was on the title track and another song called "Gangs All Here." And then after that, I just started featuring on the Duck Down projects like Duck Down Presents, Duck Down Collector's Edition, and every Sean Price album after that. And I got my first record deal with Duck Down from Sean. You know what I mean? He spoke to Buckshot Drew. And I remember when Drew came to me like, yo, you ready to start your album? I was like, hell yeah. And you know, that was all through Sean P, man. He took me on the road. I got my passport for the first time with him. I got paid from my first single with Sean. You know what I mean? So he definitely put me on. He took me all over the world. And I owe him a lot, man. Word.
what would be your fondest memory of you and your comrade Sean Price?
It's like mostly all of the good times, man, the jokes and you know, calling him up, you know, when he at the crib and him rapping to me on the phone as soon as I get on the phone, like he don't even talk. I could be getting ready to tell him something important. He'd be like, yo, listen. Like it's like he seen my number on the caller ID and was like, hold up, I got some shit for him. He either saying it on the phone or he put the phone to the speaker. You know what I mean? And I love that about him, man. He really loved this hip hop shit, man. Word.
That's what's up. Now I got some duck down questions. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay the context before I ask you these questions. So I'm in my late 30s, as I said, 38. So I grew up listening to music in the 90s, and there are certain record labels that always get the publicity. The Wu-Tang
Yeah.
Clans, there's a few record labels, New York Bad Boy and so forth. But for me,
Right.
since I listen to underground hip hop, I don't think the media or people at large give Duck Down its proper respect. That's just coming from me. I'm not saying that you guys don't get your respect from hardcore fans, but I'm just talking about in general. I don't think people big up Drew High and Duck Down for what he did for all of the artists under the imprint. Do you feel like Duck
Yeah.
Down Records, there's a lack of respect that Duck Down Records doesn't get within its peers in the industry?
Um, not 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 really. But through the page, like I know I've been around and people they always giving. Yeah, my dog. Must be a dog in the hallway or
Yeah, I
something.
got a
You
big
know,
dog
I
myself.
feel that everybody give Duck Down their proper respect, man.
Okay.
It's just that I think we you know it's we you know the label is so dope, man. You just wish that they was bigger than they are. You know what I mean? Even though they worldwide with it, it just seemed like they should be more pushed to the mainstream. But you know what? I think it was. I think it's great like where we at. You know what I mean? Being that staying underground and it's being a classic label like that and being able to put music out for all of these years, man. It's been over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And still rocking, man.
And
Like I'm really appreciative for Duck Down, man, for Drew, for Buckshot. You know what I mean? They helped me out a lot, man. Even when I you know, even by putting out my videos on their channel, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
That's a big help. And salute the Duck Down, man. Word.
Definitely, and I'm not a rapper, but as a fan of hip hop, salute to Duck Down Records too, because
Yeah.
I've been doing media since 2010, and I haven't heard one complaint. You know, usually you hear artists, "Oh, my record label is pushing my album back," and blah blah blah. I haven't heard a peep in the media
Yeah.
space. Not one negative thing.
I never
Not
had
one negative
no
thing about
problem,
Duck Down
man.
Records.
I probably put out of my 28, I probably put about five or six of my albums on Duck Down. And you know, it's simple contract, man. I do the album, I present it to them, you know, we work out the split and they put it out, they get the you know, they manufacture it and you know, we just do what it do. You know what I'm saying? You know, they push it. It was never a problem, man. It's like with family, man. Word.
So I have a Brooklyn question.
Yeah.
So my partner in media, the other half of this imprint, is from Brooklyn. He's about your age. He grew up in Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
we had a take that went viral last year. I think Duck Down put it on their main page. So he told me when he was growing up in the 90s, I think at that time he finished high school, he was in college in the mid 90s. He said there was a certain fraction in Brooklyn that, first and foremost, everybody loved Biggie, everybody respected Biggie in Brooklyn. But the
Mm-hmm.
context was there was a certain fraction of Brooklyn that identified more with Boot Camp Click, with the way Boot Camp Click dress, with Helter Skelter, with the fatigues. It
Hmm.
was no disrespect. He said it was no disrespect to Big. We love Big. We rock with Big. But it was just a certain element of Brooklyn that identified more with what the Boot Camp Clique and Helter Skelter and all those other imprints were. Is there any truth
Hmm.
to that, or is it kind of selective?
I
Because
get, I
he's
get what
about
he's
your
saying,
age.
man, because Brooklyn, we did like the gutter, the grimy borough,
That's
you
what
know
he
what I'm
was
saying?
saying.
And so, you know, I think Biggie started out like that, but
Hmm.
then he started getting that money, and he changed how the whole look. You know what I mean? He was wearing the hoodies and the Carhartts and the Timbs and all of that. And he even said shit like that. Better duck down with the Smith and Wesson.
Mm.
But yeah, man. I mean, that's what Brooklyn known for, man. Them back blocks, the stick ups, the robberies. You know what I mean? It was that. So when Smith and Wesson and when Boot Camp came out with the whole fatigues, champion hood, shuckers look. That was the uniform. You know what I'm saying?
That's what he was telling
Especially
me.
Brownsville. You know
He
what I
was like,
mean? Like
man,
Brownsville, East New York. That's what it was, man. Crown Heights too.
definitely. That's what he was
Word.
telling me. He was like in high school or college. He's like,
But every
man,
every part of Brooklyn is different. Bed-Stuy is more fly. That's why
mm,
so everybody's different, man. You could tell when you listen to different Brooklyn artists and what part of Brooklyn they from. You see the style. Like you see Uncle Murder's, he's something different. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
There's a
From East New
difference
York, the
between
way he
Uncle
is
Murder and
with you know what I
Fabulous,
mean?
and I don't know if they're from the same
Yeah, yeah,
hoods.
and Fabulous, totally different things. You know what I mean? They both dope, but their style I'm talking about, like either the style of dress or they tone of voice and how they coming off. You know what I mean?
That's
It's
interesting,
different.
because I'm not. My partner's from that part. I'm from upstate New York, although I lived in Long Island. But that's an interesting point of reference.
Even Flatbush, the Flatbush Brooklyn MCs is different too. You know what I mean? Because it's more Crown Heights is like really a lot of West Indians. You know what I mean? West Indian blacks. So
Mm.
we mixed up in there, and Flatbush too. Flatbush is more West Indians. So you'll see like Buster, um, Talib Kweli, Most Def. You know what I mean? They on the chip food. You know what I mean? Everybody with the West Indian shit, their whole style is different. With everything.
If you had to pick, and I don't want to pick one artist versus the other. So for people watching this on a playback, I'm not trying to disrespect any artist, but since you grew up in Brooklyn and you just laid
Yeah,
out the whole styles, who are your favorite artists from Brooklyn?
definitely MOP. MOP they still my favorite artist, man. Word. Definitely MOP. I've always said that from the beginning, man. And matter of and me, I got a joint with MOP recently, man.
Yeah, that came out like a month ago, right?
Salute my man Ram Assassin from the UK, man. Via Zimbabwe. We got a joint called Run It Up, Run 'Em Up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the video was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's on the Rhyme Assassin YouTube page. I definitely saw that. I think I posted it on our platform.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, MOP is the illest, man. I grew up listening to them. Like I remember when that How About Some Hardcore first came out, it was like I mean, yeah, that's another you see how it's different over there in Brownsville, you know what I mean?
mhm.
They kept it like that. You know what I mean? Like even they one of their biggest hits is Annie Up. You know what I mean? So that
Jack
show you
that.
how it is over
Yeah.
there.
Um, so doing my research to this, I think you say you started off battle rapping. If I'm like, a lot of people started off battle rapping, but it's different for everybody. Like certain battle raps
Yeah,
was,
I was like just I was when I first started, I was making a lot of songs. I was just going in there just trying to create albums, and I had albums way back when. Like I had a whole bunch of albums coming up. But the thing to get known was the battle rap, at least where I was from. You know what I mean? I grew up in Crown Heights, and I was born in Bed-Stuy, and I got a lot of family in Bed-Stuy, so I used to hang out over there too. So, from Bed-Stuy to Crown Heights, I was always getting in the ciphers and block parties and battling and just any way I could, you know what I mean? Because that word of mouth, like I was known as a dope MC in the streets before I was, you know what I mean? Like people knew about me all over. They be like, yo, I heard of it, when when I went under different names and shit.
Hmm.
And that was the way to get around, man, to get known. Cause anytime you told somebody, yo, I rhyme,
Gotta
they be
spit
like, oh,
something.
word, you can't fuck with my man. Yo, my man from in the turn. So if you ain't a battle rapper, you know what I mean, you wouldn't be able to boast as much as you could, you know what I mean, if you couldn't back it up.
So this was the era. There was no YouTube. This was the
Yeah.
era. Yo, we got to go to my man's or to this high school. So just laying that
Yeah.
foundation, when you started off like that, is there one battle in particular that you remember in your head that when you were done, you was like, I'm built for this?
Yeah, man. I remember I was battling somebody in the style, and the whole crowd felt that he won, but I knew I won. But they was just so wrapped up in their man, like they was just like, yo, yeah, spit that shit, and they knew all the rhymes. They was saying it with him and shit.
Ah,
And I mean, he was dope, but I smoked him. But they couldn't, and I was just like, you know what, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? And then after that, me and him was cool. We was working together. We did joints and shit, man. And it is what it is, man. But but they definitely didn't think I got smoked, but they was feeling like they man shit was better. Cause he was talking he was spitting that fly shit, and I was talking about that hard body shit. You know what I mean? So a lot of times in battles, like to win, like if like say if you were a hardcore rapper and you get up on stage with Big L's most likely to win. Even though Big L was super nice,
super
but I'm
wordy.
saying his style of rap, like the punchline after punchline, you know what I mean? It get the crowd to go, oh, every time. Like you could be saying some shit with them hard bars, but people really got to be thinking to understand what you're saying to be
Hmm.
like, yo, that was crazy how he put that together, the whole scheme. You know what I'm saying? So it's different.
So you talking battle rap language. Can I relate this to today's culture? Because underground
Yeah,
hip
I
hop,
mean, it still goes on like that.
battle rap culture is big, and I'm definitely tuned into the Murder Mooks, the Low Deluxe. Do you watch any of the battle rap that's
Yeah,
going on in
man,
today?
all the time. Yo, all
Who
the
who
time, man.
who is who is Ruste Juxx tuned into, man?
Yo, definitely Briz Rothstein,
Mm,
uh damn, what's my man name? What's my man name with the gun bars?
Tay Rock.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to say
yeah.
Tay Rock.
Rock. Who else, man? Even Solo. Oh, what's his
Oh,
name?
Solo, man. Oh my,
He's
that's
funny. He's
that's such a
hilarious, man. That's what I'm
unorthodox
telling you. You
style.
could you could be going hard body, and then somebody make the crowd laugh. They got
It's
him.
over.
You know what I mean? So you could be like, you'll be like, damn. Um, it's a bunch of rappers, man. What's my man from Jersey, man? Shotgun Suge.
Yeah, he just beat Easy the Block Captain.
What's my man Arsenal? It's a lot of dope. Cortez, a lot of dope MCs, man.
Cortez. He from Brooklyn, correct?
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn. Yeah,
Salute to
yep,
Cortez.
yeah. I know Cortez too. Word. Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, it's just depending on what type of style you got and what you're saying and shit, man. You just win.
so getting back onto Ruste Juxx as an artist because you're putting out a lot of work. So for 2025, what's next for you? What are you working on? Because every time like I said in the beginning, this
Yeah,
sounds like you're doing a mixture of your stuff plus collabs. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what can we,
So
as fans of yours,
as
what can
far
we expect?
as far as me with the solo, man, I got a project that I didn't start yet, but I'm getting ready to start with it, man. With Stu Bangers, he sent me a bunch of bangers. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be crazy working with him. Me and Kayo Watachi again. This gonna be the third album with Kayo. That's my man. He from France, one of the illest producers, man.
Mm,
And another solo. I had got a whole beat pack from Crisis, you know what I mean, a minute ago, and I think I did like one and shit, but I'm about to start that. It's crazy. But as far as the feature projects, it's me and my brother Skanks the Rap Martyr. We got a whole project produced by UG from the Cellar Dwellers. Me and Nine, You know Nine, right? Mad clips from my
Mm,
Nine. What you want, Nine?
I gotta
Classic joints.
I gotta look that one up. I gotta look Nine up, but it
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
Nine is he is super duper legend, man. And me and Nine got a whole project. It's called Duos. So every song, the concept of the whole album is every song is titled after like an elite rap group. We got a song called Kid and Play, another one called Red and Math, EPMD. You know what I mean, like that. And just a few other the EP with Pre one, like I was talking about earlier. Just a few different albums, man, of just from other unknown producers, man. I got a lot of joints that's done, and we just prepping when we gonna drop them. You know what I'm saying?
So I got two questions that just came to head from what you were saying. First, I'm gonna start off about the duo. I kind of think what you and Rockness Monster, I kind of think what you guys did make you guys a duo. Not disrespecting the
Hmm.
legacy. I don't want to
Yeah,
disrespect the
yeah, yeah.
legacy of Helter
We
Skelter,
got to
but
continue with this shit.
what
Yeah,
you guys did lyrically on that album Crownsville, in my opinion, makes you a duo. So when you talk
yeah.
about top duos, you said EPMD, Salute to Long Island, and you named a few other duos. Who are some of the top duos, underground or mainstream, that you got respect for?
Let me see. I know I'll probably think of some other groups later on and be like, damn, definitely Brand Nubian, Dog Pound, uh, MOP, like I said earlier, Smith
Hmm.
and Wesson. Um, who else, man? Definitely Helter Skelter. Um, damn, it's a lot of groups that I love, man. Even Ill and Out Scratch, man. Not even, but I'm just thinking like because they didn't have like a group name, but Ill and Out Scratch. Uh, it's a bunch of different groups, man, that I love, yo. Word. Tribe Called Quest.
Mm.
Word.
So I got
Word,
one
man.
more question before I wrap this up. You talked about working with a producer in France, and I think it's important that you said that because hip hop is global, and I,
Yeah.
I see, and it's no disrespect, but context. I see it. It feels like the UK community and the cross seas community kind of embraces the culture more because they didn't get a chance to grow up in it the way we did over here in New York.
Right. Yeah.
What's
Yo,
the
and
difference? What's the difference that
all
you?
my overseas fans is just like it's serious, man. Once you go to Europe, once you go to Canada, pardon me. We just came from Chile. It was crazy. Japan, like they love that shit over there. Like they love hip hop over there. You know what I mean? So when you go over there, they be so hype about your show, and then they telling you who coming next month. Like, yo, next month we got Ghostface, then we got Keith Murray. Like, they come in there fully charged up. They probably listening to the music, but in the car on the way to the show. You know what I mean? That's how
That's what
they
we
come
need
there.
for
They
the
be
culture,
rocking the
man.
stage. It's like
That's what we need for the culture, man.
crazy.
It's certain shows that you go to and you just feel it, like, and I kind of feel
Yeah.
like that's lost. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much, but it kind of feels like we take it for granted over here. We take it for
I
granted.
seen somebody talking about that too in a clip. They was asking somebody about how I think it was AG the coroner, but somebody was
Hmm.
asking him that about how people take it for granted. Yeah, I guess so, man. Because I guess it's so many artists over here, and I like in New York, we be like, you hear somebody say somebody's dope, and they be like, "Psst." Like either they know somebody that rhyme that they think is better, or they rhyme, and they don't want to give them their props. You
Or
know
yeah,
what
because then
I'm
they be like, "Oh, stop
saying?
D riding, son," and you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But definitely. So I want to end this off by saying thank you for taking time out your schedule because you've been on your grind forever. But
yeah.
really, like I said, when I looked up the last 6 to 12 months, you've been going crazy. So I appreciate you
Yep.
taking time from touring to sit down with me for a few minutes to just discuss underground hip hop.
Absolutely.
Before we leave, where can people find you on your social medias and where can they buy your merch from?
Well, you can hit me up on Twitter, Rusty Juxx, what is called X now.
Yeah.
Rusty Juxx 357. That's RusteJuxx 357. Facebook, Rusty Juxx. Instagram, Rusty underscore motherfucking underscore Juxx. On YouTube is Rusty Juxx. TV. TikTok is real Ruste Juxx. You know what I mean?
You got all of them.
And you could definitely just buy my merch from. You just hit me up wherever on any of those social media platforms, and direct message me. You know what I mean? And let's do it.
Definitely. And I'll end off by saying this. As a platform that covers underground hip hop, thank you for keeping the culture going. And thank you for everything that you provide
Appreciate
within
it.
hip hop culture, man. Ruste Juxx, man, it was a pleasure talking to you. Man, may you continue to have a
Anytime.
blessed day, man. Appreciate it.